Hello and welcome to a very long Ammanford Junction update. I know it's been some time since the last update, and again I do apologise for that. I've just been very busy. There's nothing else to it really. A lot has gone on the layout, as you can probably see in front of you right now. A lot has been going on in terms of remodeling the track work, as you can see. I'm going to a bit more detail on that in a second, and of a lot of new purchases in terms of locos. Quite a lot of new rolling stock, which I'll also show you, and I've also got a lot more detailing things, things that are going to be detailing the layout, sort of set it apart from being quite standard. And I've got a lot of new road vehicles for my sort of town side of the layout as well. So I'll get onto that now. So the major change in the layout, as you can probably already see, is the fact that the two main lines that were on this side have now gone. The platform, which is on the edge here, has now gone, and the reason because of this is that I felt that the layout needs a bit more interest at this end. It seemed to be very lackluster and sort of standard, and I wanted something, as this side over here will be the viewing side of the layout, and I wanted something up front, and I've chosen to go with a TMD. Now the main end of the TMD will be on the next board, but this will just be one end of it. As you can see, I've added a wash plant in, and this is just a head shunt here. You can see there's a sets of points which will be linked up properly. So it's not glued down at all, it's just in a temporary position at the moment, sort of give an idea of what I want, and so on. As you can see, if I tilt the camera up this way a little bit. So this is the other end of the layout of the TMD, and you can see the points are not quite linked up yet, it's just rough positioning so far. Excuse the duster, but basically, yeah, so you've got two tracks, one which forms into the single road shed, which is just a light maintenance shed, storage for locos overnight, etc. Where the 70 is. Where the DBS 60 is, this is just a small fuel stop. Obviously this is the main in and out for the head shunt, so locos wouldn't be stopped there very long, as they'll be blocking the entrance out and the exit for this end of the TMD. So there'll only be a brief fuel stop there. So there's the fuel tanks next to it, and on the next board on the opposite side of those fuel tanks will be more fueling points for longer term stabling and refueling. On this side of the fuel tanks, you can see there's a Freightliner 08 shunter with two tankers in there, and that's the fuel unloading siding. In there to the left, you can see the tracks now bend off to the left slightly, and it won't be too much of a bend. Once I put the track down, it will just be bending slightly, and then once they get up to the next board, they'll sort of bend back straight again. The other main thing you would have noticed would be the fact that there is now no track along here, and that's because I've moved the tracks over and fitted in another platform. Now what I really wanted for some time, and I've never really been able to incorporate, is a bay platform. I did think about doing it in the middle of the two sets of lines before, but it wouldn't have been quite enough space, and I wanted the bay platform on a side rather than down a middle between some main lines, etc. So I've utilised the siding which was there before, and that's going to be a bay platform now. I quite like that idea. I think it fits in quite nicely. It'll be a little bit longer, and it would come a little bit further up this way, just about 10 or 15 centimetres or so. It's going to be enabled enough to fit in 3 cars as it's got now, so the platform will be a little bit longer at the other end as well, and it will be electrified as well as the 2 main lines through the middle. And yeah, that'll be electrified, so I can, if anybody does eventually in the future, or I do get good enough to scratch build or kit bash of some sorts. It'll be room for a 323 with the capability of the electric over wires in Northern Rail livery. So that'll be a possibility in there. Obviously, apart from that, the other changes is just the main 2 lines still down the middle, and this will be used for stopping services as well as the faster Pendolino and London Midland services. The bay platform will then bend into a point which will be roughly where the yellow duster is now, and that will bend into this line. There will also be a double slip, possibly a double slip that goes right across, so it can gain access from the other line on the other side as well. The other things that I've gained recently, I'm not sure whether you'd have seen these in the last layout update, I've gained a lot more station signs, which you can see there. I can get it into focus. There you go. Which should go around the station. Quite a few packs of those, about 3 packs of those. I've taken all the dapole catenary down for the time being. I'm not sure whether I'm going to reinstate this or not, or try and scratch build some of my own. I'm going to see what Picos are like, because Pico are bringing out some as well, which were announced at Worley. Apart from that, there's a few other new accessories. I've also picked up over Christmas is these realistic station lampposts, which I think really look good. There's a few CCTV cameras on there, and they're from DCC Concepts. Really good looking ones, and they do look fantastic. Also from DCC Concept is I've got some new buffer stops with lights in them, which you should see a picture of now, and they look really good as well. And I'll eventually light them up once once the track has been sorted out and I've positioned it in a way I like it. So up next is these benches. I don't know if you can make it out in the camera or not, but they have got small holes in, very small. Probably not big enough to actually pick out on the camera. You can see the slight indents at least. But these are from 10 Commandments, and I bought these at Worley, pack of 4 I believe, for about 20 quid. I know it sounds quite expensive for some seats, but they're all made out of brass, they're all ready made. You can buy them in just brass, paint them yourselves, but I don't really have time to do that, and I like the colour they're in, so I bought them straight away with a few other things. So some of the other stuff I got from Worley and 10 Commandments is these cast metal, get into focus, these cast metal signs which I'll apply. This came with the pack, modern station pack I believe it's called. They came with these signs, sorry, and I'll put those in. It also came with the play and display signs and a few other things which I've got somewhere. They also came with these bins as well, which are really useful, which I'm going to put in. I'm going to use them along the station platforms, along with the seating and the lights I showed you, the station lights which I showed you earlier. So in terms of the layout, on the town scene side, not much has happened. I've had a good clear out, and the only main thing is a lot more vehicles have appeared. Next thing I've got to do is finish off the car park area, the 2 car park areas, and sort of the station approach, if you like, in terms of painting, because there's no more painting that's happened since last time. But a lot has changed in terms of that, in terms of how tidy it was compared to the last video you saw. It was a bit of a mess. So that's tidied up. So one of the other things I've been working on is the yard, which I'm going to go into a bit more detail now. A quick overview, and then I'm going to show you some close-ups. You can see the new Stobart truck which is in there, and that's got a few loads which I'll show you now. It has also got all the brown ballast along the front of the fence now, which now needs to be covered in some foliage. And behind the fence is all completed. I added a bit more recently, just to bulken that bit behind the fence up to show that it's really been overgrown and not been touched for years. The other thing I've been doing is just finishing off the front corner of that, just tying that in with where the road opens out, or the yard opens out from the access road, and all the ballast is glued down on the side next to the fence, and I'm going to add some foliage across the top of that, not too much, just a bit to sort of make it look so it's not quite as bare, and that hopefully will finish it off nicely. So starting off down here with the new road vehicles is the Land Rover Discovery down the middle there. We've also got this new First Right Renown, First Manchester. Moving down the road, I've got this new Land Rover as well, and got myself a new Jag and a Corsa, and also a British Gas Ford Transit. Next on the list is this. This is a new First Dennis Plaxton, I believe, and it's First Southampton, but I'm going to change it to First Manchester, and it's in the newer livery, and this is probably one of the only ones I'm going to get in the new livery, because I do prefer the R1. And there's also a new Jag there as well, XF I believe, as well as a new Incident Response Network Rail transit van. I've also got myself this Walls ice cream van, very nice. These are all Oxford die cast, by the way, apart from the two buses which are exclusive first editions, and I've also got myself this other Corsa in green. Next up is this, I've got myself another Network Rail Ford Transit, as well as this one here in Stobart Rail livery. And just up here is a Freightliner intermodal carrier, which is also from Oxford Diecast. So next up is this new block of flats that I've got. This is from Bachmann Scenicraft range, and I've also got two more Masonette flats in the Bachmann Scenicraft range to finish it off. That now means that my whole back scene in terms of buildings is completed. All I've got left now to do is paint some of them up. That includes the red one in the middle there, which is going to become a Ladbrokes. The subway has been completed. The yellow one next up is going to be a Premier off licence. The model shop is almost done, just needs to do the interior. The Barclays is finished. The next one up is going to be either a Wilkinson's or a TK Maxx. So far only the doors have been painted red on that, and that's been covered in the previous update. This will be a WH Smith, which just needs its decals added on. The Lammo Flag pub I'm going to leave as is. Likewise with the Railway Hotel, that will stay as is. The next two I'm not sure which are going to be, the next one I'm not sure which is going to be yet. The post office will remain the same. Same with the next one, I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. And the flat will stay as is. I quite like that with the bus stop just outside it. So that's it for this update. I didn't want to bore you too much because not much has happened in terms of visually. There was just a fair bit to tell you about, really. Hopefully I'll have a track plan down in place for the next update. I've got some more track on order, which will be going down, and all the other little bits and bobs which I've got doing. Hopefully, so basically next on my list is to sort of rearrange the track, make sure the track's all in a good place, glue most of that down, get the platforms in place, get the right shape platforms so there's no gaps or anything like that. That's all done, and sort out the TMD. Once all that is done, I'm going to start work on possibly the footbridge, which I've shown you in the previous update from Falla, which I'm going to put in just across from here to here, and hopefully I'll have most of the road surface down. I can start putting some of the transfers down, and start doing some of the edging, the concrete edging, the curbed, and sort of start getting this layout looking like it's actually a layout rather than a dumping ground for all the stuff that I'm putting on the layout. And hopefully it'll look a lot more cleaner, and I can start sort of doing some of that, and it'll look a lot better then. That's it for now, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks again for all the comments, likes and subscriptions, very much appreciated. I always try and get back to comments and stuff, especially on RM Web. Please visit my layout thread on RM Web if you haven't already. And engage in the conversation. I'm happy to answer questions, etc. So please get in contact. And thank you, and see you soon.